Baizzat Bari already tells us the stories of people who have been wrongfully incarcerated on terror charges. So the idea here was to find out how and why does this happen on such a large scale. The book helped us in listing out common factors in all the case studies, such as faulty investigation, custodial torture, Islamophobic slurs being used in custody, and in the book, except for one person, no one else got compensation or rehabilitation. After a detailed interview of the authors, when we started reaching out to the case studies with the help of the authors, one after the other, people refused to be interviewed. When I was following up with Tariq, one day suddenly his phone was switched off, and 4 days later we found out that he was arrested by the NIA. We weren't ready to give up on Tariq yet, so I contacted a reporter in Srinagar to visit his house. She went out looking for Tariq's family so that we can at least interview them. But their door was closed and the neighbors also didn't hit much. After multiple attempts and no result, we finally had to give up. So basically we wanted 4 people, 4 stories, 4 case studies in the documentary, but we only managed to get 2 people who agreed to speak on camera. Mohammad Ilyas in Kota and Farooq Makhdoumi in Malegaon. And even these two were not easy to reach out to. They just couldn't trust any media organization and tell their story. They needed somebody in the middle who they could trust. So, for example, in Ilyas's case, the authors put us in touch with a lawyer called Ansar in Kota who took us to Ilyas's house 60 kilometers away from Kota to a place called Bana. Since we can't be telling one-sided stories, we also reached out to investigating officers in the Malegaon blast case. We also got an expert on board, V.N. Rai, who has been part of the investigating agencies, to tell us where the fault lies in the judicial system that these mistakes happen. Visually, I was clear that I don't want to use reconstruction or illustrations to tell the stories. I had already planned on doing a tabletop with Lego blocks to give a sense of a process, to show the levels of injustice, and use of photos of the case studies and sticky notes, which turned out to be the only way to tell Tariq Dar's story. During the post-production of the documentary, I had a bit of back and forth with the editor on doing the narration digitally or not, but we finally decided to go with the normal hand motion tabletop. All of this process took over 3 months, and I feel it was a very, very important story to be told, because even today, Muslims are being acquitted of terror charges after spending 10-12 years in jail. Their lives ruined, no law for their compensation or rehabilitation. Imagine trauma of a Muslim who is wrongfully accused of being a terrorist in this Islamophobic society. So I'll wrap this up by saying a big thank you to all our contributors, our Q buddies who helped us with our production target. A big thank you. This wouldn't have been possible without you.